say, look at the comics that we are taking inspiration from. I think that shows you that we have a fan running everything. So excited. Couldn't agree with you more. Now I want to ask you about Batman the Brave and the Bold, because this is going to take up a big chunk of our conversation. I have a feeling you're skipping to Damian Wayne. Does that mean we have the Bat family fully fledged? I think so. I think that's what I'm gathering. And what kind of story do you think we're going to get out of Batman Brave and the Bold? And how is it going to differ from Matt Reeves' The Batman in tone?
That's a good question. So, I mean, you had sent me a question last week, right? And we didn't get to it, but it was what I don't want, right? From the DC slate. And what I said is, if we are getting a separate Batman from Reeves, I don't want a Batman similar to his. I want a more comic booky Batman. And while I love the Batman, if we're getting two, I want two totally different takes. And I feel like we're getting that, right? I feel like they did exactly what I wanted. We're going to be able to differentiate them. They're not going to create too much confusion in the general public because I think they're so very different. And I think the Bat family exists as a whole. You know, James Gunn has said in interviews that he felt like they've been kind of on the sideline too long. I'm assuming that means I don't think they would skip Dick Grayson because I think they see potential for Nightwing in this and doing a Titans movie or doing, you know, something where Nightwing can kind of step up and either have his own film, have a TV show, something that where he can kind of connect because he isn't just a Robin, right? He's a Robin that becomes something more. And I think that is pretty good. I think that we'll have them. They've talked about doing a Batgirl at some time in this universe. So, and that's the bad thing about this is that there are so many of these quotes just spread around 20 articles that you have to try to read them all to figure out what they said at the press junket. But because it's not in this Hollywood Reporter I'm reading. But yes, he's alluded to, the Bat family existing. They're alluding to bringing Batgirl in at some point. So in my opinion, we're just skipping to Damian because we don't have 20 years to get to Damian, right? Like we don't have, I don't know. It would probably take actually 15 years if you're going to do actual. Because even if you did a movie for every Robin, it's still 2 to 3 years between movies, and it just takes way too long. So we've seen some of these characters in other things, right? We've seen Dick Grayson in Titans, the TV show. We've seen, they even had Jason Todd, right? I'm not sure if they had Tim Drake because I didn't finish Titans, but they've been in other projects before that it's like, okay, we've had takes on them. We can bring them in established, but nobody's touched Damian yet. So if we're going to stand out, we're going to stand out with bringing Damian. And I think with the way Gunn says this, it is a very strange father and son story. There's a lot you can work with that. We've never seen Bruce as a father. In film, and seeing how he will grasp that. And I do think the Bat family can fit in here because they can kind of be like, you kind of raised us, Bruce, but what are you going to do when it's your actual kid? And the fact that the kid is an assassin when Batman's rule is to not kill is this fun little back and forth that they can have. And I think that'll very much set it apart from the Reeves films. And I'm actually very excited for it. We could get this as soon as 2026 is what I'm hearing, which is 3 years away, which is just insanity.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun when the casting for everything starts. We're going to have a lot of fun with the casting. And my biggest question for this, I think it's most people's biggest question, is how, because we want to start fan casting for things because it's the sickness we can't stop doing. is how old is Batman in this? And how old is Damian in this? He said he didn't know about him for 8 to 10 years. Does that mean we're looking at a 10-year-old kid? I think he'd probably move more like 12, 13 if we are going to go that young.
I think it might be a 10-year-old kid, maybe a 13-year-old actor. I think you could probably do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I worry that you're going to get Batman with a Stranger Things kind of a vibe. Like
I'm thinking more
yeah.
Kick-Ass. Have you seen Kick-Ass?
Yes, Kick-Ass.
With Chloe Moretz. You know, she was super young when she did that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. I wonder how the general audience is going to take Robin, and that's always been the big bugaboo that's kept Robin out of the movies. I think if you have a setup where Nightwing is his mentor, who is the middleman between him and his dad, that would work very well because then you get an older brother. I wonder how much time in the movie can be devoted to all the other characters. So I think I think it could be like you just get hints that they're there, and then as the movies go on, you get more of the Bat family. I would bet that if the Batman Brave and the Bold is successful, the movie is going to focus on Batman and Damian Wayne, and then I bet you get TV series in Chapter 2 of the Bat family. That would be my guess, because I think the Bat family is set up very well for TV, and Batman is the big cow, the moneymaker. So I think Damian and Bruce are the stars of the show. That seems to be the direction they're going. But to have the Bat family at all is super exciting. Batman is my favorite character in any medium. So I want it to be different than I want it to be different, but what I don't want it to be is to be the goofy Adam Westish Batman. I don't want a Thor Love and Thunder kind of a Batman. I want a Batman that is serious and dark, but maybe doesn't go all the way off the rails the way that Matt Reeves does in his universe. I think that's going to be groundy and gritty, and this will be. You're still going to have a dark tone because it's Batman. You can't. It's not going to be like a Superman movie, but I think it's going to be very comic booky, and I think the villains they choose are going to be a lot of fun. I think you're leading into League of Assassins the second you bring Damian Wayne in, Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, and then that opens up a whole world of villains that you can go into, and I think you're going to get the street crime and the gangs and the Penguin and Two-Face in Matt Reeves' universe. It's going to be fun to have two Batmans going. I hope we get the Batman Part 3 because having two Batmans going at the same time, to me, sounds like perfect world. I can't get enough Batman. Batman Brave and the Bold, very interested on tone. I don't want it to be for kids. I want it to be accessible by kids. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it'll be PG-13. I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be for kids either. You're going to deal with dark subject matter with just the fact that Damian is an assassin, and as James Gunn says, a little son of a bitch, right? So I do think we'll get the best of both worlds here. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if Part 2 is it for the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked, just because I don't know if they do actually think having two versions is sustainable. But I also wouldn't be shocked if Matt Reeves is really taking inspiration from The Godfather. I think it was a long time between 2 and 3, and people don't usually have the best opinion of 3, I think, right? So maybe he just goes out and says, this is what I'm doing, but the press said at least one more Batman movie, which is that, but we're also getting the Penguin crossover. Maybe we get the Arkham series or not. I mean, that's kind of been such in limbo. I'm not even sure anymore.
I want to hold your breath in the Arkham series.
I wouldn't think so.
It'd get a little complicated if you had that much Batman material before Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't hold your breath on that one.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I think we'll get, Matt Reeves tweet it, retweet it. The way that it was worded, I think in the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, where it says, epic crime saga, right? So it does seem like maybe we are just going to get the mob crime side of things on the Batman. And I think maybe now you could do stuff like Clayface,
Mr. Freeze.
Mr.
You don't.
Freeze with
Mhm.
Brave